Why is it being normalized for men to be incompetent?
What color are your daughter's eyes?
Brown.
That is incorrect.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is Dietrich, and I talk everything from a faith perspective, specifically Christian. And today we're going to talk about weaponized incompetence. That does happen in a lot of Christian marriages. I'm going to be real. It's not just a non-Christian or non-faith marriage, but it happens to many marriages, and especially in the church. And that is something that we're not talked about, especially when they say men are called to be leaders but they act like child. So we're gonna watch a couple of videos, and I'm gonna give you guys my comments and react and thoughts on it. And please feel free to share your thoughts and comment below. What do you think about weaponized competence, especially in the church, and how should the church address it? So let's get into it.
Why is it being normalized for men to be incompetent? This is something I've seen in my personal life as well as on social media. And people make jokes about it, but it's really not funny. A man is called to be the head and the leader, not the other way around. Needing to call your wife 13 times at the grocery store and needing her to give y'all's insurance information and at the doctor's office, that's not normal. There's a lot of men that are castrated spiritually. It really just goes to show how prevalent that Jezebel and Ahab spirit is today. Some men like for their woman to lead them and to dominate them while they sit back. Some women are being seriously burdened by having to carry the weight of a man that won't step up.
Yep. What is your son's birthday?
No, that's a good one. That's a really good one because I don't know.
What grade is your daughter going into?
9th grade.
What color are your daughter's eyes?
Brown.
That is incorrect.
They're blue. I have a brown-eyed daughter, though.
What are your daughter's birthdays?
Why do you do this to me?
Yesterday.
Oh yeah, yesterday!
What are your daughter's birthdays?
Yes, May 28th, 2009, August 8th, 2013.
Listen, I don't care if these men die alone. At this point, they're asking for it. I know it's tempting to believe these men are exceptions. Take it from someone who deals with families for a living. They're absolutely not. I'm a peds and neonatal nurse. These individuals don't even remember their baby's date of birth in the NICU. I once had a dad register his baby with a name spelled wrong. Plot twist, his child was named after one of his own parents. I've had dads visit the ER unable to tell me if their child had an allergy. About 2 years ago, I fed fish to a child that subsequently suffered an anaphylactic shock that almost killed them because the dad forgot to mention it in the baby's history. Diaper sizes, shoe sizes, the name of their daycare. Has your child ever had a surgical intervention or have they ever been hospitalized? I don't know, I'll have to call my wife. Besides dropping the baby off in the morning and going to the park on Sundays, what do you do? This man in the video, you could abduct his child off the street right there. A police officer could be standing behind him and he wouldn't be able to give a description of his child without looking through his phone to make sure he got the right eye color. Bring back shame. The issue is that when we see a man appear that does all the right things and is invested in his children's lives, suddenly they become a demigod. It's not supposed to be that way. I fall for this too. I'm always amazed, and I feel so bad.
Hon, can you drop off the rent check today? Yeah, okay. Oh, wait, sorry. I meant, can you get up from the chair and put shoes on and pick up the check from the table and put it in an envelope and walk to the door and open the door and go into the hallway and close the door and then walk down to the elevator and push the elevator button?
Whoa. What are you doing?
Well, last week when I asked you to get the ice cream cake for the party, you got it from the store and brought it home and left it on the counter. And you said that that was my fault because I didn't communicate well enough, so I'm really trying to communicate.
You don't have to be such a nag. I'm not a little kid.
Well, you said that it was my fault that the cake melted because I only told you to pick it up from the store, and I didn't tell you to put it away in the freezer. I'm just trying to help you be aware of what needs to be done. Don't worry about it. Some men just need a strong leader.
Do all women not ask for help, or is it maybe just my wife? She walks into the room to tell me there's all these chores she has to go get done, like laundry and go to the store and whatnot, before she gets on a 4 a.m. flight tomorrow that she's not packed and ready to get on. And all I'm doing is watching a movie with our son. And I go, I can fold the laundry. I can go to the store. I can help you with that. And I just don't know why she doesn't ask.
It's your household too. How are you incapable of understanding that there are things that need to be done and just doing them? Why does she have to ask you? Why do you think you're helping her instead of just participating in the household duties? Do it yourself. Take the initiative. Be an actual adult and do the work that needs to be done. Don't wait for your mommy to ask you to do your chores. This is why men say the divorce came out of nowhere, and the women say it was brewing for a long, long time.
Well, why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? For one thing, I'll say I am so glad that we have platforms like TikTok, Instagram, even Facebook, even YouTube to allow women to share their experiences and what really goes on in marriage and the reality and the truth about marriage and relationship. Because so many times, especially when I was young, we were told as women that marriage is like this beautiful thing, like Cinderella, like Disney movies. Nothing can go wrong. You have your Prince Charming, yada yada yada. Yada. And even in the church, they will talk about marriage and so many things, but they will not talk about the details, the stuff that goes on that lead to people who divorce. And with this platform, it gives us a real reality on what really happens in marriages and even in our lives. Because I remember when I was young, when I would speak about these incompetence that men have. I'm not saying all men are incompetent, no, but these actions that men do that are just wrong and incompetent that makes the marriage wrong worse. I mean, I would often get talked out. I would often get in trouble. I would always be told to shut up or be quiet because as a woman and as a girl back then, I was not supposed to speak. Well, guess what? I found the Bible. I'm a Christian. I got born again. Started reading the Bible for myself instead of listening to men and human beings and listening to God. And I found the truth. I really did. And it made me realize that how so much that we choose and cherry pick in the Bible and we don't really do what the Bible says, especially in marriage. Like I would see the church when they talk about marriage and leadership and how it's like they always focus on what a woman should do, what a woman should be, the details, the everything. Like a woman's job is to be a mother and have kids and etc. But when it comes to men, they would generalize or just go over it real quickly without going into detail of what to like to be a leader and the head of the house. In a lot of Christian marriage, there's a lot of weaponized incompetence. There is so much weaponized incompetence in a lot of Christian marriage, so much so that when it's brought up, especially when a woman expresses, her frustration and the resentment and her anger or what's going on in her marriage, they shut her down. They, try to make her believe that what she's going through is normal and she just should suck it up and endure and then that man are not supposed to be doing those things in that and so it's her job. Like literally they dismiss her frustration and her anger and everything and they try to comfort and try to make her think like there's something wrong with her instead of addressing the man who is doing the actions that are hurting her, that are making the marriage worse, and that are just weaponizing her. You know, I've seen so many Christian men that have manipulated scriptures to just weaponize the wife. If the wife asks him, "Hey, will you change the diaper?" It's not a man's job. The Bible says it's a woman's job. Where does it say that? Where does it say that? And I can even tell you, there's some pastors who have never even changed a kid's diaper. You see, but when you read in the Bible, it talks about how parents have to become one and have to be present in the kid's life, and how husband and wife have to work together. It's not just the wife that's bearing everything. It's not just the wife that's doing everything. It's the husband too. But we don't want to talk about that. We don't. We don't. We just want to let it go. And this is even very common in African, Asian, Hispanic, Latino, even Western marriages. It's so common to the point where like women are being frustrated and they're divorcing. And when the divorce comes out of nowhere, they're like, I did all this, I did all, oh, how come she's divorcing? Well, my guy, have you seen what you were doing? Have you seen what you were doing? I think it's time for the church to really speak on these topics and to really, really go into details of what it's like for a man to lead his house, to be the head, and to love his wife, and to cherish her like Christ is to the church. It's really time for the church to address these issues and really explain to men what it's like to be a leader in the house, to lead by example in love and gentleness and kindness, and to lead like Christ, to lead like God who also is leading us. That's all I have to say for today. Please like and subscribe if you like this videos, and I'll see you guys on the next topic. Share this with anyone who will benefit this video, and thank you so much for watching. Be blessed.